woman of action, and indeed a woman of Africa. Since September 2017, when Angola entrusted its destiny into your household, you have stood not behind history, but within it, with purpose, with intellect, and indeed with compassion. An economist by training, a planner by instinct, and indeed a public servant by conviction. From shaping Angola's future as Minister of Planning, to representing Africa at the global table, at the World Bank, carrying the voices of Angola, Nigeria, and South Africa, you learned what made me forget that development is not spreadsheets alone. It's women with opportunity, girls with education, families with dignity, communities with hope. And so today, as First Lady, your vision and your focus is clear. Women's empowerment, education for girls, health, social development. Through often, my lady, you always remind Africa that when women meet together, nations rise together. Today we gather here not as fragments, not as borders made by borrowed pens. We gather here as one people, one nation, one market, one destiny, one Africa. They say Africa is many, but we say Africa is one. Whether you speak Twi or Hausa, Swahili or Yoruba, Mbundu, Kimbundu, or Kikongo, Arabic, Spanish, Japanese, French, or even English. When they chase us out of America and Europe, they do not ask if you are Zulu or Hutu, Nigerian or Kenyan, Angolan or Ghanaian. They only say Africa. Why then should we divide ourselves when the world already counts us as one? We are 1.5 billion strong, a slight majority of women, a continent of youth. Let Africa hear this truth. Without women, the single market won't work. And without youth, it will certainly not move. They will not merely participate. They must own it, and they must drive it. Because SMEs are our heartbeat. Women are our backbone. Youth are our engine. Yes, innovation lives in our streets, and collaboration flows in our blood. Trade is actually written in our history. From Timbuktu to Mombasa, from Accra to Rwanda, from Cairo to Cape Town. Africa is not poor in ideas. Africa is rich in culture, rich in raw materials, rich in young people, beaming with ideas and entrepreneurial verve. Together and united, we are not a footnote. We are not a charity case. We are a power, a future brighter than America, a market greater than Europe, a force that can stand shoulder to shoulder with India and China. For today, we are not Angola. Angola, 50 years of independence, 50 years of resilience, 50 years of dignity. Angola that welcomed the world. Angola that even saw Messi dribble past her sons, yet never lost their pride. We salute the leadership of this great nation. The chairperson of the African Union, your husband bearing the weight of Africa's unity. Today, we celebrate you. Anna Opoku-Agyemang, woman of power, champion of women, voice for the girls yet unborn.
Enterprise, the council, and leaders of the APN, Nime, Name, Naana, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I bring you all greetings from His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, who was meant to be here, but was called away for other international duties. It is a pleasure to represent His Excellency. It is important to engage with the avenues that conceptualize, change, and implement it. It is in this context that such advocacy platforms have emerged to complement the work of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is headquartered here in Accra, to champion inter-African trade and deepen intra-African economic cooperation, investment, and mobility. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this commitment is not new. Recently, at the United Nations, President Mahama stated that Africa would shape the future. He is just as convinced of that today. And central to that conviction is a simple truth. A future that excludes young people, women, and small enterprises is not one we can afford to sleepwalk into. It is a belief that lies at our reset agenda. The idea of a reset is to move us from dependency to self-reliance, from fragmentation to integration, from exporting potential to building prosperity at home. The vision of Africa as a single, integrated economic space remains unfinished. Whether this reflects the constraints of imagination or the execution, we must remember what is at stake, and that is prosperity for Africa's people. Our borders should connect us, from Pan-African Festival of Arts and Culture through the Year of Return initiative to the Diaspora Summit. Successive governments in Ghana have worked deliberately to bridge our historical and economic divides with the understanding that progress is strongest when it is collective. This spirit of partnership was reaffirmed just last year at the second AU CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, where African countries recommitted themselves to cooperation rooted in dignity, equity, and mutual benefits. Against this backdrop, the African Continental Free Trade Area stands out as a historic opportunity. It is the world's largest free trade area by number of participating countries, representing a market of 1.3 billion people. Within this market, SMEs are central. Africa's SMEs are often cited as generating over 80% of employment and a significant share of GDP. In Ghana, our SMEs continue to demonstrate resilience, competitiveness, even under challenging conditions. Equally notable is the role of people. Women make up nearly half of Africa's workforce and are a major force in enterprise, especially in micro and small businesses. Our youth account for more than 60% of our population. Across the continent, our youth are driving technology and innovation from fintech to creative industries. However, ladies and gentlemen, this potential is not yet fully reflected in cross-border participation. Fewer than 20% of SMEs engage in export trade. Women continue to face unequal barriers to finance, mobility, and market access. Many young people still lack the capital, skills, pathways, and institutional support needed to scale their ideas across borders. Many of our economies risk remaining trapped in low productivity models, exporting raw materials, importing finished goods, and watching talented young Africans seek opportunity elsewhere. This trajectory is neither inevitable nor acceptable. And that is why the theme for this dialogue is very relevant. Across the continent today, we are seeing sustained efforts, deeper coordination, and increasingly confident leadership. The task now is to convert this momentum into a durable economic transformation. That requires clarity of focus, expanding trade within Africa, and implementing the industrial strategies that strengthen priority sectors, build skills, support sustainable production. We must continue to invest in infrastructure and connectivity while establishing the conditions for innovation and technology. Behind all this, strong institutions and effective governance are essential to sustain progress. Ghana is actively contributing to this shared agenda. Our 24-hour economy initiative is designed to unlock productivity by better coordinating infrastructure, finance, and institutions, ensuring that businesses and workers are no longer constrained by avoidable bottlenecks or lost time. Along this, the government's Big Push Infrastructure Development Program is laying the foundation for trade and industrial growth while aligning Ghana's national priorities with those of ECOWAS and the African Union. Governments must generate long-term and medium-term policies and grow strong development finance institutions and regional projects that reflect the scale of our collective ambition. And we must continue to integrate our borders. We must continue to interrogate the borders. Africa must unite. This is not about erasing sovereignty. It is about organizing our sovereignty in service of shared prosperity and our markets. It is about enabling an entrepreneur or manufacturer, whether in Accra, Kigali, Luanda, or elsewhere, to see Africa not as a fragmented abstraction, but as one connected market with vast opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, our greatest asset remains our people. For that reason, this conference should be remembered for what was discussed, what was launched, what was committed to, and ultimately, what was delivered. I thank you for your kind attention.
The President of our Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, speaking so eloquently to us through the Vice Presidents. Ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who do not understand Portuguese, well, your salvation is not complete. Allow me to just pick on something she said, very, very important. Madam, we want to salute you for the active role you play.